Tom, people say about you that you are the guy next door, the guy that everybody knows, the regular guy, the so nice guy. Is the way you see yourself?
I see myself as a man, not a guy. I'm just a man. I don't know if I see myself any particular kind of way. I know this. I got a great job that I do my best to leave at work, although sometimes it keeps me up at night. And I got a family that kicks my butt every now and again when they feel like I need to have my butt kicked. So I think I'm lucky. If that makes me a nice guy next door, that's fine.
And do you think those are the qualities that make you so lovable?
If I'm lovable, fine. The last thing I would ever want to do is to translate any reason why anybody would think I would be lovable.
After 2 Oscars and all this success, what has changed inside of you?
Well, you know, there's a degree of accomplishment. I'd be lying if I didn't tell you that I do feel. I mean, I went through 2 very, very magical nights over the course, and these are nights that I myself, you know, fantasized about experiencing ever since I was a little kid. I don't discount for a moment the realities of winning 2 Academy Awards and what that meant, both to me and to my family. Incredible experiences. And forever an asterisk. I will always have a special little notation behind my name because I've done such a thing. But beyond that, it's an accomplishment equal to climbing a mountain. Eventually you come down and you remember what it looked like from up there, and every now and again you look at it and say, yeah, I was up there once. And then you get on with it. To dwell on it, I think, would be kind of poisonous. To want to yearn to try to recreate it somehow would be impossible to do anyway.
But hearing people saying all the time that you were so great makes you feel or think differently about yourself?
Well, it can play it can play with your head. You really have to realize where it's coming from. No one deserves the amount of attention that I've had on me for any reason, unless they've really done something spectacular, something truly momentous. You have to eventually just say thank you very much and not pay any attention to them, because otherwise, what will it do to you afterwards?
So are you aware to protect yourself in a way?
Absolutely.
From this stuff.
Absolutely, and the other side is too. You know, just as any horrible parts of your life, after a while, you know, all things must pass, and this will too.
About this vulnerable thing, are you an emotional person in your decisions?
I am instinctive in my decisions, I think. I don't regret saying yes or saying no to anything. I'm not one to sit around and rue whether or not I've done the right thing or the wrong thing. I think I live up to my responsibilities. But when it comes down to, say for example, whether to take a job or not, it's the easiest decision in the world to make. It's either yes or it's no.
Yes!
Nope.
Yes. No. Yes.
But it's more rational or emotional?
No, it has to be emotional.
It has to be.
In that regards, it has to be emotional. As soon as you start rationalizing, well, I should do this because it's got somebody in it and that might mean this and it's different from what I've done before. As soon as you start thinking that way, you take emotion out of the decision, and I think you take emotion out of what's up on the screen.
And what do you like? What do you like least about yourself? Is there anything that you say, oh, I have to change this, I can't go on like this?
You know, I dodge every phone call. If I say so-and-so called, I look at the thing and I say, well, he'll call tomorrow. I don't really have to call him back, do I? I'm not really good at living up to those kind of personal responsibilities of people who have reached out to me, and it's hard for me to maintain friendships over a real long period of time unless they are those kind of friendships that you can pick up right where you left off. You know, sometimes I just get to the point where I just get tired, and I'm actually probably more of a solitary person than I think I am. I think there's a lot of times where I just have to be alone and shirk my responsibilities before I can really feel good about living up to them again. That's a quality of my personality that I wish I didn't have.
About being a star, is there something that you do not like about this position?
Well, I don't like that I have missed out on great moments of my family, either because I've been absent, because I've been off working, or because I honestly can't enjoy it. I can't enjoy a public function with my family out in the regular world because, I can go out and mayhem ensues, and it ends up being I have to sign autographs and have people shouting at me, and I don't get to have a genuine experience sometimes. Believe me, that's a trade-off I get for plenty of other very great benefits of being famous, but...
Dugan?
Yeah.
Did you sell my baseball?
Sure.
So you don't go around?
No,
Usually.
if I go around, I have to really organize it. I have to make my peace with doing it. I have to decide, all right, regardless of all the pressures that are going to be on me, we're going to go to this place. And sometimes it gets so bad. I mean, I've been out with my family, and people have no respect for the fact that I'm out with my family. People come up to me and they want me to do something. I say, look, understand, if I do this for you, my day with my family is ruined because I'll have to do it for everybody who asks me, and they just don't care. It's a small price to pay, in all honesty, but it is a price that you pay nonetheless, and I do regret that because it puts pressure on my family. Ends up missing out on some things that I'd get to do if I wasn't quite so famous.
You also have teenagers, sons. And how do you manage this success with them? Do you talk to them about this? How do you deal with this?
Well, I try, all of us in the family try to understand that this is what we do. This is what I do. And it is a life goes along with that. And that life is real. When I take a movie or I'm involved in something like that, it's not time out from the rest of life that's going on. It's incorporated into the rest of life. I've always talked about what I do for a living with my kids as a job. Hey, I've got a job. Hey, guess where this next job is going to take us this summer?
To the moon.
It's the moon in this case. And everybody comes along, and everybody gets to enjoy the adventure of it as, in some way that I do. But we don't put anything on hold because Dad has to go off and be a movie star right now. When we go to the Academy Awards, everybody comes, and it's a big, long night, and it's fun. If we go off to Houston to do something tomorrow, everybody comes along, so they get to enjoy Houston as well.
Once you said that you got this job because the fun of it, after all this pressure and this stuff, can you still keep this fun?
Oh yeah. Oh, without. I tell you, and I'm not lying to you. It's just as fun to be an actor now as it was when I was in high school and I was an actor, or when I was in college being an actor. I'm not in it for the power. I'm not in it for the prestige. Believe it or not, I'm not even in it for the money. And they pay me quite well for doing this stuff now. I'm in it because for the same reason I think that guys who, find carpenters, I think they get great enjoyment out of building something. I get great enjoyment out of being an actor in a movie. It's fun, and I can't imagine doing anything else.
For instance, in this Apollo 13, first of all, would you really go to the moon?
Absolutely.
If they invite you now?
If they said, we don't know, we know you're not really qualified to go, but we think we need to have a movie star fly in space on the space shuttle, would you be interested in doing it? I'd say absolutely yes.
Now?
Absolutely.
Without the family?
The family, I would have to explain, folks, there's going to be a slight change, and I'm actually going someplace where you don't get to come along this time.
And tell me, explain to me, I know this is a tough job to do, but how did they do the scenes of the zero gravity?
Well, there's this airplane. It's like a 707. It's a big jetliner, except it has all the seats taken out of the middle of it. It's just an empty space. And we stuck the set up there in one of the forward compartments and loaded up with all the equipment. And then this plane goes out over the Gulf of Mexico, and it flies up at a 45-degree angle. And when it gets like 35,000 feet, it pitches over and goes right over.
It's a very controversial movie. Did you suffer any kind of prejudice to?
Oh no, not at all, not at all. I got some mail that, people who disagreed with what the movie stood for and some of the comments that I've made in the course of talking about the movie. But no, in fact, if nothing, I thought we probably got more credit than we deserved. Philadelphia, I think, is a good movie, but it's the first very tentative step in what should be an evolution of a nature of a story that needs to be told in much more broader detail and much more specificness.
And when you won your first Oscar, first one.
Which one are you talking about? Oh, the first one, okay.
The press, some part of the press criticized your speech. why do you think this provoked this reaction?
Well, first of all, the Academy Awards are a great thing to rag on in the first place. I do it myself. It's a fabulous night of kitsch, and it's neat. I think part of it was too, it was a bit of unbridled emotion. I was very emotional about when I was up there. Part of it was because of everything that the moment meant to me. But part of it also was the fact that I knew why I was there. I was there because so many gay men are dead of AIDS. That's why the movie was made. That's why, I think that's why the movie had the impact that it was. And at a night where it's much better to be, I guess, cool and collected, I kind of went to pieces up there a little bit.
Who was Forrest Gump?
Forrest Gump is each and every one of us. Forrest Gump has elements to his view of life and his confusion about how the world operates that I think we all feel at one time or another.
What is the difference between got the first and the second Oscar? The second is like, oh, it again.
Oh, no, not at all, not at all. The first one was like magic. The first one was like a miraculous kind of party. It was something that was a delight. And it kind of came up and very quickly, because the movie came out in December, and then the Academy Awards were not long after that. Forrest Gump came out in June and was a constant blare of attention from there until the Academy Awards. I actually felt much more pressure with Forrest Gump than I did the first one. And out of that then came a kind of like almost carnal desire to get it over with. Look, win or lose, I can't take this pressure anymore. Stop talking to me about it. I don't know. Paul Newman's going to win. It ended up being like a campaign for office as opposed to an honor that you get bestowed upon you. So I was glad it was finally over, and I'm glad I won.
Okay, so see you in the third one.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. That is very nice of you.